Hello and welcome to the course Climate Hazards and Disaster Mitigation. Today we are going to perform an exercise to map climate vulnerability profile of India. So what have we learned so far? We understood the terminologies of hazard, disaster, risk and vulnerability. We discussed the causes and impacts of climate change. We also differentiated between climate change and climate variability, and we appraised the risk and vulnerability profile of India. So today we are going to understand how to create spatial maps in QGIS, which is an open source platform using two techniques. One is join and second is IDW interpolation. Then we'll also learn how to prepare and import CSV and Excel files and link them to the shape files. And we can practice generating thematic maps for interpolated surfaces and exporting them for reports. To begin with, first we'll install QGIS. So here the steps are given for a Windows based system. So if you have Windows based system, you can go to the official website and download the QGIS. So there you will have QGIS standalone installer. If you are using a 64-bit computer, you use a 64-bit, or you can use a 32-bit as well. Then you run the installer, you double click on the downloaded file, then you can proceed by agreeing the license agreement, and then you can click install. So there are pretty simple steps, and QGIS will install all the necessary tools, so it will take some time. And after installation, when you go to your start menu, you can see this kind of desktop icon, and you open it, you will get all the features of the QGIS. So let us begin by plotting spatial maps in QGIS. So we are performing two different techniques. The first one is join based mapping and second is a IDW based mapping. So for the first one, what we are going to do in QGIS, now the format which QGIS uses .shp, which is also called the shapefile. So that shapefile will give you an idea about the lat long position, and the third coordinate can be represented depending upon your area of interest. Then you will use a CSV file. So usually CSV file or TXT files are used, but CSV is more preferred. So that CSV file, so this is the layout of your QGIS window. So in the layers you will drag and drop your shapefile. So this one is your shapefile .shp, and your data is your .csv file. So your CSV file usually would have a coordinate, so it will have lat long. So you can add that file, and then we will see how to proceed next. So this is the CSV file. If you see, you have first column as state, so these files will be sharing with you. Then from the report we have taken the data, so we have also mentioned the report later on. So then the vulnerability index calculation, the ranking, then relative vulnerability as high, low, moderate, and quartile based vulnerability. So these different categorizations are available, which we can put it up, and this is all in a .csv format. It is similar to a spreadsheet, but in a comma separated variable format. So you should be very careful while understanding the structure of this file. The first row will denote all the variable names. Next, if you see the shape file, the shape file looks something like this. You will have all the states. So this is a shape file of state of India, consisting of all states of India. So you can see this is a shape file considering the state. Then these are the state values. Then you have the shape, area, and all other features are given. So once you in the layers panel, you right click on the layer of the state boundary, this will table will open. This particular table is called the attribute table. So we have provided the source. We have used the data from climate vulnerability assessment for adaptation planning in India using a common framework. This was a study conducted by IIT Mandi, IIT Guwahati, and IISc Bangalore. So from this we have sourced this data. So you can see this data is provided here for reference. So we have the vulnerability indices, you have the ranking, the category, and the quartile based categorization. So we can use any of these things, that any of the column to prepare spatial maps to visualize how the things are. Now once you open your QGIS, then you have already loaded your shapefile and the CSV file. If your CSV file has a coordinate, then you have to choose layer, add delimited text layer, so that the coordinates are in place. Then you will open the shapefile, then you will open properties, and then you will select joins. So here you can see, once you select joins, this kind of panel will open. So once we complete this PPT, we will also show you the procedure stepwise, so that it is very easy for you to understand. Then we will click on add vector join. So in that, this is our CSV layer join field. This is the field which we want to join in target field. So this is both the state, and then you click on OK. So you have to provide the join field and the target field. Now there are some optional settings which can be not availed as well. Then once you click the join data, then you need to right click on the shapefile, properties, then in that you will select symbology, and then in symbology there will be several options. So in that you will select categorize, so that we want to categorize the data. So once you want to categorize the data, you can select which field you want to categorize, either data ranking or vulnerability index. Then you can select the color ramp also. So if we see, as we go from lighter to darker red, it indicates higher rank, so that way the ranking is provided. Then you will go to display labels, then you will select the layer. So you can see that this is the final map which is created. So you can see, as you go towards more darker red, that is showing higher vulnerability. And you can select the state name what you want to display. So you can click on show labels. So we can just go back and check what data was showing. So you can see that vulnerability states like Jharkhand, Mizoram, Odisha, Assam, Chhattisgarh, Bihar and Arunachal Pradesh and UP, West Bengal, they are in higher vulnerability. So let us validate with our map. So if we can see, yes, UP, West Bengal, Assam, then Arunachal Pradesh, Bihar, so these are shown in darker red. So that is why we confirm that whatever we intend, that has been plotted properly. Next we will proceed to the second method, where we will be using the IDW, that is called inverse distance weighing interpolation. So if you have point data, so it will create map by interpolating this point data. So again you have to prepare a .csv file. In that .csv file you will have latitude, longitude, so that is the grid, rainfall grids which we will provide. Then the different variables, so this PRCP is total annual rainfall, RD is the rainy days, RX1 day is 1 day maximum rainfall, and R95P is the 95th percentile rainfall. So in the coming weeks we will see more in detail how to extract these indices, but this is just shown that how to plot these variables. Again in that you have to go to layer, add delimited text layer, and once you do that, then you can see that your CSV file will appear here. So the name of the file is shown here. X field is longitude, Y field is latitude. You can get the coordinate reference system here, and your data, sample data will be shown here. So that way you can see that the proper data is loaded or not. And once you do this, this kind of image will be generated, where this is your shape file. So this is a polygon shape file, and your coordinates is your point shape file. So this will be generated. Then on the processing toolbox we'll type IDW interpolation. Once you click enter, you can see this type of window will open, where you have to select your vector layer, which attribute to be interpolated, that has to be selected. Then you have to click on plus to add that particular vector layer, and then you have to set the extent. So extent is very important, that it will give an idea that of what boundary needs to be interpolated. And once you have done that, then we will go to raster. Then we will go extraction, where we clip raster by mask layer, and once we are done that, we need to provide certain features that we want to prepare an interpolated map. Then this is the mask layer, that is the shapefile which we want to have, because there are a lot of points. So what is the polygon shapefile that we need to provide, and once we provide the polygon shapefile and then you run it, and then the final output will be generated. So this is the output map which is generated. You can again visit the symbology, then you can choose what kind of rendering you want to provide. So we have chosen single band pseudo color, and based on that you can select the color ramp. So that is from smaller to larger value, and then you can apply, and later if you want, you can export the file to the layout manager and create maps, and then export to PNG or PDF formats. So let us first look at what how to perform this, and then we will move ahead. So I am opening the QGIS window. So you can see this is the QGIS layout, where you can see this is your browser, any recent project, these are the layers. So if you can either you can add layer, or you can simply drag and drop. So let us say if I have a file here, so this is a shape file of India, I'll simply drag and drop in my QGIS in the layers. So I can see this shape file of India is created. Next I'll put the data file. So this data file, again it is created. So if you want to visualize, you can open the attribute table. You can see here Jharkhand state, vulnerability index, ranking, high vulnerability, then categorization is all provided here. So this is how your attribute table looks like. Now what you need to do, you need to right click on properties. So once you right click on properties, you can see that what is the information. You can see the coordinate reference system, in what units, it is a projected reference system. So all this kind of information is provided here. You go to symbology, and then you can select here categorize. So we already mentioned, you select here categorize. Now once you do categorize, which value you want to categorize, whether you want to categorize state. So now what we are going to do, as we already showed, that we are going to do the joining of the data. So if we click the properties, here we are going to just add your data. So that will just add it. So if you can just check here that what processes we did. So we have proposed that you will click on joins, and in that join, shapefile layer, and then you have to just add join, and then you have to choose your CSV, and then you have to select whether the state name that is matching or not. So shapefile, will just click on properties, will click on join, will add it. You can see this is data, state, that is joined field, target field is again state, and then you click on apply. OK. Now once you perform this, then the next step is you will go to the attribute table of the shapefile, and then you will see new fields that are added from the CSV, and then you can create the categorized map. So symbology, here we will select categorized, and you can see here that which value you can take data vulnerability indices, you can take data ranking. So I can demonstrate one by one. So let us say data vulnerability ranking. You can select a color ramp, red. I just click on classify, and you get all these. So you can see that this is the color ramp it has taken, and you can click on show labels. So you get all these properties. If you want to change it, let us say if I want to project something else, I can instead of data vulnerability, I can go on ranking, and I can click on classify. So it is asking should the existing classes be deleted. I say yes, and then I apply and OK. So you can see that whatever map we showed in the PPT, the same map is created, and this is how you can create spatial maps by joint technique in QGIS. Now let us proceed to the second exercise. So for that we will remove these layers. So the another layer also will remove. Now let us go step by step what we have shown in the second exercise, that this is the CSV file which is already there. Then you will go to layer, and add delimited text layer. So we are going to layer, add layer, add delimited text layer. So once you go here, you have to select your file name. So your file name, let us check what is the file name given here. File name is your lat long of Indore district. So we will select lat long of Indore division. Just select that. So you can see that is the CSV file. X field is longitude, Y field is latitude. You have the geometry C, that is a coordinate system, and this is how the file looks like. Just add it and close. So you can see that you have got all the lat longs which are there. Now once you have added that, then the next thing is that you have to add the boundary. So you can just drag and drop your shapefile. So my shapefile I will just select. So this Indore division I'll just open here. This is my Indore division 1 underscore dot shp. So this shapefile I'll just drag and drop here. So you can see this is how the shapefile looks like. Now what next I have to do, I'll go and perform the IDW interpolation. So for IDW interpolation, I'll search IDW in the processing toolbox. I'll double click on it. So this window opens. So in this I'll select the vector layer as lat long of Indore division, and I'll select what is the interpolation attribute which I want to interpolate. So this is lat long of Indore division. Interpolation attribute is PRCP, that is total rainfall. I'll add that, so that is available. So it is showing it is a point shapefile, and then I'll select the extent, and then I'll click on run. So once this is done, so you can see that all layers are done. So this map, you can see that this is an interpolated layer, but now you can see that it is taking a larger extent. So we want to make it a concise extent, to the shapefile. So what we need to do, that now you will clip the IDW to raster. So when you click raster, extraction, and clip by raster mask layer. So we are going on raster, extraction, and clip raster by mask layer. So here it is interpolated. What is a mask layer? Mask layer is Indore division, and let us see, other settings are optional, and mask layer is state boundary. Then you can just run and check what are the values you get. So it is run successfully. I'll just turn off this layer, and I can also turn off the lat long, and this is what the map is generated. If I want, now I'll just go to symbology, properties, symbology. Here I'll use single band pseudo color. I can use any color band you like. Let us say if you want to go on blues, you can go on, and this is how you can create it. So now you have this map. So if I want, I can go to project, then I can create a new project. New project, and in that I can export this so that you can get in a map format also, but this way also you can visualize. Colors can be changed as and when required. So what are the key takeaways? So the key takeaways are that you can map tabular data by easily joining it with a shapefile. IDW interpolation helps convert point data to a smooth continuous surface, and this helps us to visualize any variable. So you can explore this further and do more exercise. These are some reference material. This is a report which we have taken, and thank you for your attention. In the next lecture we will discuss hydroclimatic measurements and data.